News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Missoula authorities investigating a shooting incident that occurred over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, November 30th, 2015. Hope your Thanksgiving weekend was meaningful and relaxing. And right now it is cold. It's 0 degrees, and the humidity is up around 90%. That's why it feels so much colder. That cold just penetrates much more deeply when the humidity is high. Ordinarily, we don't have high humidity here in Missoula, but we have an inversion right now. There is some fog in the area, so this going to stay in the deep freeze for just a little while longer. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by the Mustard Seed Asian Cafe in Southgate Mall. Our top story this morning, Missoula County Sheriff's deputies were called to the scene of a shooting early Thanksgiving morning up Highway 200 near Bonner. Sheriff's Captain Bill Burt has details.
Shortly before 6 a.m., Missoula County 911 received a call from a resident on Highway 200 east near Bonner. The caller was reporting that an unknown male began pounding on his door. Just a few minutes before he had called, when he opened the door, he discovered the male had what appeared to be a gunshot wound to his face.
Burt said deputies and medical personnel rushed to the scene.
Deputies and medical personnel responded. The male was ended up being transported to St. Patrick's Hospital, where he's currently being treated. He's listed as being in stable but serious condition.
Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett provided an update saying the victim was flown to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle due to the extent of his wounds. The man's identity has not yet been released, and because he has been unable to speak to investigators, no suspects are yet in custody. Industry officials and state regulators are looking at how Montana can reach federal carbon cutting goals by the year 2030. The state faces the nation's most stringent cuts under President Obama's climate change plan, of course the EPA, to reduce emissions nationwide by 32%. Coming up with a realistic scenario at this point is difficult because much about the Clean Power Plan is unknown. As a result, studies by the State Public Service Commission and Northwestern Energy come with caveats. The Commission analyzed combinations of power plant closures, efficiency programs, and renewable resource development to reach Montana's target. The study, funded by Northwestern Energy, envisions closing the second largest coal-fired power plant west of the Mississippi. The studies have added fuel to a politically charged issue expected to be a factor in the 2016 elections. Of course, that study came from the University of Montana Bureau of Business and Economic Research. Ever since U of M President Royce Engstrom announced his proposed plan for staff and budget cuts due to reduced enrollment, a steady stream of criticism has been heard from some faculty and staff members. UM Provost Perry Brown told KGVO News on Friday there are certain facts that must be faced.
Per student, we have the highest number of faculty members and the highest number of staff people that we've had in many, many years. But certainly when we're done with the adjustments that we're making, we will still be staffed higher than we have been staffed before.
Brown also addressed the continued criticism of the size of the university's administration and why deep cuts have not been proposed to help offset the budget crisis.
The fact is that over the last 8-9 years, something like that, we have added one administrative position at the University of Montana, and that is all.
Brown assured the community of Missoula that despite the present troubles, the university will remain a vibrant part of its culture and success. The attorney for Into the Wild author John Krakauer says state officials must disclose the disciplinary records of a former quarterback accused of rape for the public to understand what the University of Montana is doing to protect students from sexual assault. Attorney Mike Malloy wrote in a filing to the Montana Supreme Court that preventing the release of records would be an endorsement of keeping secret how the university treats such cases. Krakauer is urging the state's high court to uphold District Judge Kathy Seeley's ruling that Commissioner of Higher Education Clay Christian must release records of any actions he took in the case against Jordan Johnson, who was later acquitted after a jury trial. State attorneys argue releasing educational records without a student's consent could threaten Montana's federal education funding. A man from Goshen, Indiana, is on his way back to Missoula this week to face child sex charges. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Jennifer Clark has details on the charges against Michael Aspinwall.
It's alleged that between August 2nd and August 12th of 2015, he was enticing a child of the age 13 into committing sexual conduct. conduct. The victim of the case was in Missoula. He was located in Indiana.
Clark says the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force played a major part in apprehending the suspect.
The Internet Crimes Against Children Division issued subpoenas to identify where these messages were coming from. We're able to identify the man sending them as Michael Aspinwall, and then once that was done, we charged him with sexual abuse of children, and a warrant was issued for his arrest.
Aspinwall is currently en route to Missoula to face charges. He'll appear in justice court sometime this week. As of this morning, he was not yet listed on the Missoula County Jail roster. Authorities are still searching for a 79-year-old Montana woman, her adult son, and $480,000 bar of gold. The Missoula newspaper reports Beverly Giannati and her 57-year-old son Gregory went missing a month ago. Officials say Beverly was having some work done on her deceased ex-husband's home when a cleaning lady found a 25-pound bar of gold there. Powell County Sheriff Scott Howard said Beverly was reported missing about a week after the gold was discovered. The FBI joined the search in early November. Well, the Montana Department of Justice reminds the public to keep an eye out for online shopping scams, identity theft attempts, and false charity solicitations during the holiday season. Spokeswoman Anastasia Burton offered important tips for consumers and for those who want to donate to charitable organizations over the holidays.
Remember to give wisely. Don't be afraid to ask questions and donate only when you're satisfied that your money is going to be used in ways that you think are appropriate. Be very concerned about callers who use high-pressure tactics or those who promise you sweepstakes, for example, in exchange for your contributions.
And when it comes to holiday shopping for gifts online, Burton offered helpful suggestions on this Cyber Monday.
Before you enter your personal and financial information when you're doing an online transaction, look for signs that the site is secure. That would include looking for a padlock on your web browser and look for a URL address that begins with HTTP or HTTPS.
Consumers could also be aware that under Montana law, gift cards and gift certificates from an individual merchant do not expire. So keep that in mind, all right? Newstalk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Low clouds and patchy fog today will give way to mostly sunny skies late this afternoon. Highs will top out in the upper teens. We drop back into the single digits tonight, mostly sunny on Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.